Good evening, I'm back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, with Quintessence Productions, LLC. This is week 11 of the NFL coming up. Weeks 8 and 9, we had very bad weeks. We went 2 wins and 8 losses. So week 10, we had to have a bounce back week. We just wound up treading water. We actually went 0 and 2 in the morning games with 3 games to go. I thought, here we go. But we pulled it through. We won the next 2 and had a push in the last game. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I want to go over it really quick, really briefly, for less than 2 minutes at the most. Our first game, we had New York Jets -7, hosting the Buffalo Bills, the hapless Buffalo Bills. They were averaging 5.5 points per game. They were supposed to start this Peterman guy I talked about, who has the highest interception percentage ratio of any quarterback since 1930 in the NFL. But lo and behold, the coach had a change of heart and put in Barkley, a former USC, the former Philadelphia Eagle quarterback. He's actually quite good, and they lit up the hapless New York Jets. It was 24-0 early in the second quarter. I was done. I won't even look at the box score to see how many sacks were. I gave up. I lost. That was the worst pick I made this year. I thought I was onto something. I thought that the Jets were going to make a run. That was the time to do it. But now they're doomed. Now they're off this week. Just end the season, Jets. Jets. Just end the season. I'll doubt if I ever take them the rest of the season. I mean, they better be getting like 35 points, and I'll think about it. We lost the second game. We had the high-flying, surging Atlanta Falcons -4 at Cleveland. I had stated that Cleveland was in turmoil. They just fired Hugh Jackson, fired Todd Haley, yada, yada, yada. Greg Williams, like I said in the video last week, he was a former coach of the Buffalo Bills, and he wasn't a bad coach. He had nothing to work with. He's a great defensive coach, but nevertheless, he's back. And I think he's a good coach, and he showed it. Maybe the players will buy into his program. Maybe the players will respect him. So we'll see. But the game was competitive, and the Falcons had a chance to tie that game up. And 3 straight plays from the 7-yard line that were incomplete. Cleveland's got a decent defense. So now we start the week 0 and 2, not looking good. So our next pick was Washington +3 at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has the best offense in the NFL, and people don't understand that. But the Redskins held them to 3 points. Tampa outgained them 3 yards to 1, but they stopped them in the red zone when they had to. Limited them to 1 field goal. Quite a performance by the Redskins defense, who might be gelling at the right time, in the right place, right time. But we won that one. The next pick, we love the Tennessee Titans, home dog, 6.5, hosting New England. I gave them reasons why we picked them, and they all turned out to be true. But the fifth pick, Jacksonville +3 at the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, the Colts had like the 3rd worst defense behind New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. Colts were never known for their defense. But Jacksonville's offense is kind of sputtering this year. They weren't getting it done like they did last year, and now they were coming to this game, losing 3 or 4 in a row, and they needed this win really badly. And my reason for picking Jacksonville was sound. This was a team that had the better roster, the better coaching, better general manager, better everything except quarterback, and they were going to get it done. They would crawl back in the game, and they were moving in for the winning score with seconds left. And the guy was wide open going down the middle of the field. He fumbles the ball, and then the Colts just ran the clock out. I saw the highlights of that game, and I mean, they were going to at least tie the game up and send it to overtime with a field goal, and I would like my chances. In those circumstances, we would do the same thing again. We just felt we had a little bit of bad luck. Jacksonville might be on the way back, but they got to have some wins. So let's talk about Week 11. This is what you wanted to watch the video about. There's only 3 home dogs this week, and we're taking them all. We're taking all underdogs. Come on up here, come here. Okay, pick number 1. The Carolina Panthers -4 at the Detroit Lions. We're taking the Detroit Lions +4 as a home dog. Carolina has not done well on the road. They just got spanked by the Pittsburgh Steelers for 52-21. And Detroit's not exactly beating up the NFL, but they do have Matthew Stafford. I think he's a great player. I think Matthew Stafford is stuck in one of these purgatory teams that are just destined to lose. Matthew Stafford's a one-man wrecking crew. Without Matthew Stafford, they'd be lucky to win 1 game a year. They're going to watch the tape of how Pittsburgh exploited it. I'm looking for Matthew Stafford to put the ball down the field and do the same. Next pick number 2, is the Baltimore Ravens -6.5, hosting the Cincinnati Bengals, or the Bungles I call them. The Bengals started out like a ball of fire. I mean, they were actually, after the first 3 weeks, they were the top-ranked team in the NFL. Even they were just slightly points ahead of the Rams. But then their defense just went off the rails. They're back 7. just can't stop anybody. Cincinnati's pass rush has disappeared, but I'm looking for the pass rush to return because they're at the crossroads. Okay, they cannot afford to lose any more games, or else the Steelers are going to just break away from them. The Ravens, on the other hand, they're going in a different direction too. They're spiraling downhill. This is the only team that in the NFL history, as far back as I can research, that pitched 3 shutouts and couldn't make the playoffs. They're on Gemini. Hi, Gemini. Oh, my baby. You let me pick the games? Oh, anyway, have a seat. But we're going to take the Bengals plus 6.5 because we think that Bengals can smell blood too. They know each other. It's a division rivalry, and I'm getting 6.5. I'm going to take my chances with the Bengals. I'm looking for a close game. I really can't pick the winner here. I'm just hoping for a close game. Game number 3, Houston Texans -3. We're taking the Washington Redskins. Redskins defense, like I said, they might be gelling at the right time, the right place. Texans should have lost their game if Denver makes that field goal. Texans started 0-3, then they peel off 7 straight wins now. I just think that Texas might be pushing a little too hard. I think Alex Smith is the quarterback that matches up well against the Texas defense. He knows how to get rid of the ball quick, so that negates the pass rush of J.J. Watt. You don't start 0-3 and turn to a world beater. I've been watching the NFL too long. I've watched probably 5,000 games in my lifetime because some of the games I got DVD tapes. I watch them over and over again. Pick number 4, Pittsburgh Steelers -5.5 at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now we know Jacksonville has beat-slapped the Steelers a couple times in a row now at Pittsburgh. One of them was a classic playoff game last year. I mean, they just jumped at to 31-3. Of course, Big Ben on 4th and forever, 4th and 30, 4th and 27, 4th and 21 keeps bringing them back, and they were scoring because Jacksonville's kind of not quite there. And this year, they've lost 5 in a row. They must win. And Pittsburgh is starting to surge. They're starting to be slapped in the NFL. They've won a few in a row now in convincingly fashion. They're looking very, very tough. They're the AFC's version of the New Orleans Saints. But that could change from any week, any given Sunday. And I'm looking for Jacksonville to continue the effort from that second half when they were at the Colts. I look for them to really grind down that game plan and play Pittsburgh like they've always played them. And they're going to try to do the same thing again. They're going to jump out to a lead and then hang on. If the defense can play like it's been playing the last couple of weeks, I like Jacksonville's chances. Pick number 5. This is the one I'm going to get the hate emails from. New Orleans Saints -8.5 at hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Saints are the home team. They've won, 9 in a row. They lost their opener to 48-40 to Tampa Bay, Fitzpatrick and the Bucks. In a game they actually could have tied. But if you look at the same other side of the coin, is the coin heads or is the tails? Is the glass half empty or is it half full? The Saints played the Browns and got lucky to tie the game up and won in overtime. I mean, the Saints could very well have been 0-2. And they start every year 0-2, 0-3, 1-4, 1-3, 1-2, 0-4. Every year they do this and then they surge. But long story short, the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, their defense just got picked apart by Prescott. The receivers were just wide open. Every time I turn around, they're making a big pass play. I mean, that's not the Eagles that we saw last year. They got passed on some, but not like to the extent. I mean, their defense is failing them this year. Their offense is actually somewhat competent, and they do move the ball. They do score some points, and they're capable of going on a good run. And this is that time. I think the Eagles know that, hey, we're the defending champs. The Saints are right now the top-ranked team in the NFL. They knocked off the undefeated high-flying Rams. This is a good spot for a possible upset, and 8.5. I'll take the 8.5. To me, this is the gift game. The first thing I look for when I handicap a week is any gift games. Are they going to give me a game with a point spread? And this is the only one I can really see that's really a gift gimme game. I know we're taking the Bengals at 6.5. That's not really a gimme game. We're just looking for a cover. But this is a gift. I think the Saints are slightly overvalued here. To the bonus picks, we're going to go to 2 bonus picks, and that way we'll have it'll work out to an average of 1 bonus pick a week. So the first bonus pick we're going to give you is Arizona Cardinals -5.5. They're hosting the Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders, are now at the bottom of the barrel, and they're lower than the Buffalo Bills. They're lower than the New York Jets. This is not good. And they should very well be 0-11 because, or 0-10 because they had a bye week, I believe. But they should be winless because they were hosting Cleveland and they were losing that game. They tied the game up and beat Cleveland in overtime, a game that they should have lost. Didn't Cleveland miss a field goal in overtime? Anyway, they could very well be winless. And Chucky Boy is turned out to be the fool's gold pyrite that everybody used to warn the miners in the 1848 California gold rush about. Fool's gold. Well, Chucky Boy, he's won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, but that wasn't the team that he built. That was the team that Tony Dungy built. And Warren Sapp and the defense was just, they could have beat anybody. And they did. They beat anybody and everybody. And then during that year they won the Super Bowl, didn't they have a game where they were a home big favorite by 16 points and lost 45-0 to somebody? So, I mean, it happens. This is the NFL, any given Sunday. But John Gruden, and we knew he wasn't going to come back to coaching for 50 cents. They paid him. Davis Jr. has paid him well, but he's not delivering. When you dismantle your team and getting rid of Khalil Mack and a couple other players for these so-called draft picks, and then you may not even be around to develop your draft picks, that's not a good sign. However, if Chucky Boy's got any gumption at all, he should be able to outwit the first-year coach the Cardinals have. He should be able to outwit the hapless Cardinal rebuild team. We're getting 5.5 points, and Oakland does have some things going for it. They do have Derek Carr, who's actually not playing bad, and their defense stepped it up. They played a very good team with the Chargers last week. The Chargers are starting to surge. The Chargers are showing what they're made of, but they're off this week. They got a bye week. We're going to take for the bonus pick. We're going to take the Raiders plus 5.5. Our second bonus pick. This is just for fun. The Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5 hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody's taking the Chiefs. Everybody. I got a sheet here that shows the percentage of action, and this was as of Tuesday. To the filming of this is Friday. Los Angeles Rams. As Tuesday, 85% of the action is coming on the Kansas City Chiefs. I know Kansas City has Mahomes. I know Kansas City's a very good team, and I know Sean McVay is the youngest coach ever. I know he's got a lot of growing to do, but he's still a very good coach. I think the Rams have they have the physical beasts on the team. I think Kansas City's defense is actually terrible. I think the Rams' defense is much better. And so they're both pinball offensive juggernaut teams. Everybody will agree with that. But if you have to boil down to which defense is actually better, I think it's no question it's the Rams. And plus Andy Reid. I'm just not an Andy Reid fan. My friend in Westlake Village, he's a Green Bay Packer fan. He's a real good friend of mine. We have these conversations just to make us laugh, to get everybody laughing about the worst coaches in the NFL. And he's got Dennis Green and Andy Reid as two of his, and Buddy Ryan. He hated Buddy Ryan too. So he's got Andy Reid as the top 3 worst coaches of all time. And he never did much with the Philadelphia Eagle teams that they built over the years. I don't even think this game's going to be close. I think the Rams are going to blow them out. And once they get behind, they got to play catch up, and they're going to tee off. They're going to send off this Aaron Donald at defensive end. And Mahomes has been lucky so far this year. He hasn't had a pass rush like this to face. So now he's going to be facing one, and I like the Rams' chances. I know that Rams lost Cup, that receiver, but they still got other beasts on the team that can pick up the slack. Year to date, we are 26 wins, 22 losses, and 2 ties. Yeah. Year to date, our bonus picks were 4 wins, 5 losses. Yeah. Not really much to brag about there, is there? So we like our picks this week. We got the 3 home dogs and 2 underdogs. We like our chances. I think this is going to be a good week. And hopefully this is some good information for you. If you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe and leave some comments. I won't be reading the hate mail this week because I'm running low on time. Thank you and have a great day.